Hey guys, Lily Tony here. Today I have a special guest, and since May 4th is coming up, I decided to do something special. As you guys know, in my top 10 favorite franchises, I listed Star Wars as one of them. And ever since a kid, I have been surrounded by a lot of Star Trek fans, and I decided to bring one of them on. This is my uncle. You can introduce yourself.
I'm Uncle Kirk. I'm a big Star Trek fan, and today I watched the first episode of Star Wars for the very first time. Very impressed with the movie, and glad to be doing this interview.
Thank you. Thank you for coming. Now, I have a few questions for you, and afterwards, once that's done, I can even show you some of this. This is some newspapers that were saved by some family members over the years, and these came out on the release date of the movie. So this is from 1999, May 1999. It shows a timeline of all the important cast members and stuff, and I just think that's really really cool. I also have this. It just provides extra lore for the world, and I just thought it was really interesting. From my knowledge, this is the only documented one I know of from what I've seen, and I think it's pretty cool to have a piece of memorabilia from that time. But besides this, let's get on with the questions. All right. For starters, what's your history with the series, and what's your story with the series? Could you tell me about that?
The only I've seen two Star Wars episodes, Episode 4, and the last one that was made.
Mm-hmm.
And other than that, I haven't seen any Star Wars movie. We watched Episode 1 tonight, and it seemed like a really good show, and I'd be willing to watch Episode 2 if that's in the cards.
Yeah, I'm actually really excited about that as well. Episode 2, fun fact about these two episodes, they aren't very well liked by critics. And to me, in my opinion, I think that these are solid movies.
Yeah, I think so.
I feel like, yes, there are characters like Jar Jar, who is not very liked by the fandom, but in my opinion, Jar Jar has honestly aged pretty decently. What did you think of Jar Jar?
I'm not quite sure who Jar Jar is.
He was the goofy guy. He was the one that was he was the one with the certain accent. Do you remember?
No,
It's fine.
sorry.
No, that's totally fine. Alright, here's my second question for you. How was the movie for you? What were things you found good about it, and things that you found bad about it? Were there any characters that you didn't like or were not crazy about? Or were there places and events that you wish weren't in the film?
I thought the film itself was a good film. I liked the storyline of good versus evil, and all the characters, the main characters in the movie, have their own sort of subplot, like the little boy in the race, who was to be trained as a Jedi warrior. He was free after he won the race, so he's already gone through his trials and tribulations up to this point, as is the other characters in the movie.
Alright. The young boy who is Anakin, do you think he'll be important later on in the series, or...
Yes, I think he'll be a main character.
Alright, do you have any speculation or theories that you want to throw out there, or not really?
Well, his last name is Skywalker, so I'm going to guess he's either Luke Skywalker or Luke's father.
Alright, those are some two solid theories, I think. Alright. As you saw in the movie, it had a young Obi-Wan Kenobi. From what you remember about the original film, were there any traits seen from his first appearance or glimpses of what he may become?
Well, he was was training under the senior Jedi, and when he lost that Jedi in the battle with evil, he seemed to have a human quality to him when he picked up the gun, picked up the other Jedi's head. He whispered to this Jedi that he had a promise to train the boy to be a Jedi warrior. That was a very human sort of feeling.
And as you know, throughout the movie, he was kind of a very by the books, a very rule-centric person. Unlike his teacher, who was kind of more of a flexible person. I think Liam Neeson, who was Obi-Wan's master, did a great job as his master. I feel like he really brought it together, don't you think?
I'd agree with that, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did a good job.
So on a scale to 1 to 10, what would you say, like, would this number rank? You would say the movie ranked? Would you say it's a 5, a 4, a 2?
I'd give it a solid 8.
All right, an 8.
One of the better movies I've watched in a long time.
All right, that's pretty good. And what did you think of the overall theme of this movie could have been? Like, is there any ideas on what you think could be the whole message of the movie?
If you have a purpose and you're siding with good rather than evil, it pays off in the long run.
I'd say so too. I'd say that's a pretty solid message, honestly. Now, do you have any theories on what may happen in episode 2 before we end the interview?
Well, I expect there'd be a lot of training for the young boy in the movie, and more in-depth coverage of what it is to become a Jedi warrior.
What did you think of the politics of that were talked about? Does that speak to you in any way, or?
Well, they had the Queen herself, and then the Senate, and the Supreme Chancellor, and that's all. It's not based on the American experience, but it does parallel it somewhat.
Mm-hmm. This came out.
Believable.
Yeah,
It's believable.
it definitely feels like a real world, especially with all the aliens and different things that were going on.
Yeah.
They even talked about blockades and like trading, which I feel like is a very, especially what's going on in our climate currently,
Right.
is a very prevalent theme. The trade of information, regardlessly, and I feel like that's what makes the Phantom Menace Episode 1 of Star Wars really stand out. But besides that, what did you think of the Senate Chancellor, the main head of the Supreme Chancellor? Any thoughts on him, or you think he might come back later on, or?
He's probably got a role in the movie. I would think he would have a role in the movie.
Yeah. All right. So, what do you think? Have any closing thoughts?
Yeah, I thought this was a good movie, and like I said before, I'll be happy to watch episode 2 at any time.
All right. Would you like to take a look at any of these before we end our interview?
Yeah. Not very interesting. Very interesting, as was the movie.
Thank you. But besides that, I think this was a great time. I'll definitely make sure to make a follow-up video and interview you again. I really enjoyed watching the movie with you.
Yeah, so did I.
Yeah. But besides that, that's about it.